everybody. I'm so glad to be here with you while we kick off this new series called Remember When I? Sometimes those Remember When I moments are serious, sad, or even hard to think about. Today we're going to be talking about some memories that challenge us to find a better way forward and may even require us to do something that's difficult. And that difficult thing is to forgive. None of us wants to think back on those serious situations or circumstances that have left us hurt, disappointed, or wrong. Nobody loves thinking or remembering, remember when I had my girlfriend break up with me because she wanted to date my best friend, or I failed my math test because I cheated off someone else, or I remember when I got suspended from school and it wasn't even my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. What's crazy about remembering difficult moments is that we tend to get a little bit stuck. We feel all the anger and all the betrayal and disappointment and sadness all over again when we remember those things. Whether we notice it or not, we often try to think of ways to help ourselves move on from memories like that. Can I let you in on a little secret? All that stuff doesn't help. Sure, you might feel a little bit better for a moment, but I can guarantee that the moment will pass and you'll be right back to where you started. Stuck again. Thousands of years ago, a man named Paul dedicated his life to sharing the message of Jesus with the world around him. Before, he was a guy who told others about Jesus. He was a guy who hurt and even harmed other people. Paul had a lot of those remember when I moments. He probably didn't love looking back on hurting people. But after he started following Jesus, he found a better way to deal with the memories in his life that hurt. And it says this: see that no one pays back evil for evil, but always try to do good to each other and to all people. Paul knew that it's only human to want to get even when we're wronged. We want our payback. Paul also knew that the better way, the way that follows Jesus' lead, is to choose something entirely different, and that is forgiveness. Choosing to forgive is truly the only way forward for any of us. You can forgive. The good that Paul called us to do starts with forgiveness, both for the sake of ourselves and for those around us. The hurt and pain we find in our lives doesn't just impact us. It also impacts the people around us. When we follow Paul's guidance and choose to forgive, we aren't just helping ourselves. No, we're doing what Paul said was good for all people. What makes this tricky is that all people means, well, all people. Forgiveness is the good we're called to do for everyone around us, and ourselves included. And forgiveness helps us make room for good. We can either be weighed down by all of the heavy, difficult things we've experienced, or we can choose to forgive and lighten the weight of what we're carrying. Remember, it is possible to choose forgiveness, even when it's difficult. To help us choose forgiveness, here's a few things that I think can help. There's obviously not a one-shoe or one-size-fits-all approach to forgiveness, but I think that these things can help us. So the first one is do what God says is good. That means loving and forgiving even when it's hard. 2, do what's good for you. Do what's good for you. So if that means you have to forgive that person every day and you have to talk about how what they did hurt you with those that you trust, do those things. 3, do what's good for those around you. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we forget what happened. It doesn't mean that you keep that relationship or let things return to how they were. It doesn't mean that you trust that person the same way you did before. In any situation where something like abuse has occurred, forgiveness does not mean that you stay quiet about it. If you've been hurt in a way that you know is deeply wrong, please know that part of forgiveness includes you speaking up. Remember, you're not powerless in this hurt and pain that you feel stuck in. You can forgive, and that forgiveness will help you move on and move forward. So, think about this. What's one way forgiveness might be good for you? I hope you all have an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you next week.